Hello everyone, happy to see you again and I welcome you all for today's topic curvilinear motion. Curvilinear motion is if any object moves other than the straight path is known as a curvilinear motion. And many of the engineering applications are along with the curvilinear motion. So let us discuss in detail about the path of the object whose line of action is curvilinear, also considered as in a single plane. So each and every object has three-dimensional movement. So if we consider only a single plane, then those oriented problems can be sorted out by using curvilinear motion. Say for example, a car is moving in a road. So it is moving only in a x plane. So along the ground, the movement of the car lies. Hence, it is a curvilinear motion of a problem. And also you can see the example here. The giant wheel is also an example for curvilinear motion, and the amusement rides which are adventurous have the curvilinear path of motion. Here you can see that these rails will carry the people in a single direction. So in one dimension only, the other two dimensions will not be here. And while sorting out these oriented problems, we can identify the acceleration, velocity and displacement. In kinematics, we are dealing with the related subject. So if you want to track the acceleration, if you want to track the velocity, distance traveled by the object, you can use this oriented formula in order to sort out the queries. Here the kinematics deals with acceleration, velocity and displacement. So for each and every component you are having a specialized formula. Regarding acceleration, if you want the total acceleration, so here A is the total acceleration. If you need total acceleration, you can add the tangential acceleration plus the normal acceleration. So AN here is normal acceleration and AT is tangential acceleration. If any object is moving in a curved path, it will have the tangent at each and every point towards the origin. So you will be having a tangential acceleration, also the normal acceleration towards the direction. So you can get the total acceleration by using the formula. And when you require a normal acceleration, AN, that is AY cos theta minus AX sin theta will be used here, and theta will be the angle, and AY and AX are the horizontal and vertical component. So at a curved path, you can find the normal acceleration by using the components. So x and y components, by using this component you can identify the normal acceleration. Also you are having another formula for getting the normal acceleration, that is v square divided by rho. Here rho is known as the radius of curvature. It is indicated by r or rho, and v square is the velocity. If you divide by v square by rho, you will get the normal acceleration. When you require tangential acceleration, you need to differentiate the velocity with respect to time. So dv by dt, you will be getting tangential acceleration. So after getting these two components an and at, you will be able to find out the total acceleration. So here in curvilinear motion, these are the additions which will be there apart from the rectilinear motion. So these are the rectilinear motion oriented formulas which you have to know In addition to this, these are the formulas. So generally you have to know v square is velocity and u square will be initial velocity. The velocity at origin here is known as u square, and v is the velocity at any point of time, and 2a is acceleration and s is distance. For identifying, according to the given data, the formulas has to be used. If a problem has initial velocity, acceleration and time, and the problem can be along with the distance and acceleration and the initial velocity is given, so you can use these two formulas regarding the given data. If the given data has distance component, then you can use the formula v square equal to u square plus 2as. If the data doesn't have the distance component, you are having acceleration, time and the initial velocity, you can use this formula. So according to the given data, you have to use the formula appropriately. Also in this formula, ut plus 1 by 2 at square. So u here is initial velocity and v here is the velocity at the given time. And if you need velocity in x direction, you can have the distance along the x direction divided by dt will give the velocity at x direction. Velocity at y direction will be dy. dy here is the distance travelled along vertical axis. And by using this formula, we can sort out number of problem. So let us first discuss a problem. A motorist traveling on a curved road. If an object is moving in a curved path, then it is known as the curvilinear motion of an object. Here the object is a car which is moving at a speed of 72 km per hour at a radius. So for each and every curve, if you are having a curve, then that curve has the origin. So with this origin, you will be having a radius. So the radius here is given as 200 meter, and find the normal and tangential components, that is an and at. At the acceleration, he applies a brake to slow down the car uniformly to a speed of 36 km per hour in 10 seconds. So at the 72 km per hour speed, the car moves slowly in the curve. Within 10 seconds, it reaches the acceleration of 36 km per hour. What is the requirement here is find the normal and tangential components of the acceleration just after brake are applied. So here an can be identified by the formula v square divided by rho. Here v square is the velocity. The velocity is given here in kilometer per hour. You have to convert this into meter per second. So how to convert that? 72 into 1000. For converting kilometer into meter and converting hour to second is, you have to divide it by 60 into 60. So it will give the value of 20 meter per second. So that's why velocity is 20 square and rho is the radius of the curvature, that is 200, which is given. You can find the normal acceleration. If you want to find the tangential acceleration, that is the acceleration here is 20 divided by dt. If any constant is derived with respective to t, you will get a value of 0. Next, we have found out an, and to find the at, between these period, so there is a deviation of period. So 72 km per hour to 36 km per hour. So if you convert into meter per second, this will be 20 meter per second and 36 will be 10 meter per second. So the difference here is 20 minus 10. and from 72 kilometer per hour to the reduction of 36, the time taken is 10 seconds. So that is why the time here is 0 to 10. So that is 10 seconds. If you divide this component, you will be getting ATS. Now we got the tangential and normal components. The particle moves along the curve of a characteristic of x. Note that there are two components here. I will take this example. This curve has a equation. Each and every curve has an equation. This is a road oriented component, and the object oriented component is car. So two things are here. You have to differentiate these two components. One is the road which is in curved path, and the car which moves in the curved path. So that is why in some problem there will be two equations. One is the equation regarding the curvature, and the second one is the equation regarding the object which is moving in the curvature. So that is why here the two equations are given. In the previous module there are only one equation, but here you will find a two equation. First equation will be regarding the curve. So curve has an equation of x equal to 0.65 y square. The value of motion here is x equal to 4t square. So here, whenever how to differentiate the two equation, that is, if an object is moving with a particular motion, it will have a component of time. So the motion of an object will always have along with its equation with time component. So 4t square, and at a given instant when time t equal to 3 seconds. So determine, first one is displacement, that is s, and the velocity and acceleration of a particle at 3 seconds. So this is your condition. So we have to identify the three components. First, let us consider the displacement of a particle. The equation of the curve is x equal to 0.65 y square, but whenever we are identifying the displacement of the object, we will use x equal to 4t square. So this is the object equation. So 4t here is 3 seconds. You will be getting 36 meter is the distance travelled at 3 seconds. So now you can find the y distance. That is, we can apply the x solution in this equation to find the y component. So if you substitute 36 in x component, you will be getting root of x by 0.65. So here x is 36 we have identified, and the y component is 7.44 meter. And if you know x and y component, you can find the distance moved in a curved motion. So if you root x square plus y square, you will be getting 36. So x here is 36 and 7.44 is y. So you will be getting 36.76 as the yes. And next thing is the velocity component. How to find velocity? By this equation. So this is distance equation. If you derive with respect to time, you will be getting velocity. So dx by dt. dx is 4t square. If you derive with respect to t, you will be getting 2 into 4, that is 8t. And here time is 3 seconds. So 3 into 8 is 24. Now you have identified the velocity along the x direction is 24 meter per second, and you have to find Vy. To find the Vy, you have to substitute the velocity component along with the equation. So the velocity component is, so if I apply 4t square here, if I need y square, I am taking out all the component outside of this equation, and now if I need y, I will be rooting the values. So after root you will be getting y equal to 2.48 t. So now you can differentiate with respect to time. So after differentiating with t, 2.48 t, t will be vanished here, and 2.48 will be the velocity at y direction. So if you know the y component and the x component, you can square it and root for identifying the velocity in a curved path. Finally, 24 square plus 2.48 square will be, if you root that, you will be getting 24.13 meter per second. So the third component is acceleration. So if you want to find acceleration, further you have to differentiate with respect to t. So 8t, if you differentiate, it will be 8 meter per second square. So if you need y component, already we are having a component of a constant, so that is 8. So ax is 8 here. So if you further differentiate the 8, you will be getting a constant of 0. Hence the y component is 0 here. So root of 8 square plus 0, you will be getting 8 meter per second square. So all the three components is being identified. So next, let us take a third problem. A car starts from rest on a curve of radius 250 meter and accelerates at a constant tangential acceleration, that is at equal to 1.2 meter per second square. Here rho is given, that is radius of curvature is 250. Determine the distance travelled and time taken when the magnitude of total acceleration is 1.5 meter per second square. So here the given data is the car starts from rest, so that's why the initial velocity u is taken as 0 and rho here is 250, and at tangential acceleration is given is 1.2 meter per second square, and a here is 1.5. This is the total acceleration. So we know that the total acceleration equal to root of at square plus an square, that is tangential acceleration square plus normal acceleration square. So if you need an, you can substitute here to find an. So after finding the normal acceleration, you can find the next component of displacement. For displacement oriented component, this is the equation. Here we know the component of u, that is initial velocity is 0, we know that, and at is tangential velocity, that we know that it is 1.2 meter per second square. But in order to know the other component of velocity, how to find the component of velocity, we have to use additional equation. So an is also can be represented as v square divided by rho. If we need v, that is velocity, we know the an is 0.9 meter per second and the radius of curvature is 250. Now if you multiply this, you will be getting 225. If you root that, you will be getting v value, that is 15 meter per second. So next, after getting the 15 meter per second, you can apply in this equation of v square is 15 square equal to initial velocity is 0, that is the car starts from rest, that's why it is 0, and at is 1.2, s is the only unknown. Simplifying, you will be getting ac. Distance travel is been found out, and time taken, you can use another formula, v equal to u plus at. Here you know v component, u is 0, at is 1.2, and the t component is the only unknown. So while substituting all the values here, you will be getting t equal to 12.5 seconds. So when a car is moving from rest and the curvature has the radius. So this is a curvature which will be having a radius of 250. If a car is moving in a curved path, it will have a acceleration, that is tangential acceleration and normal acceleration. So you can find the distance crossed by the car after a particular time, and after increasing of a particular acceleration you can find the, so if this car needs to be traveled to a distance of a certain distance by using 1.5 meter square acceleration, so you can find the distance travel and the time, in how much time the car can catch the distance. So these things can be calculated by using the curvilinear motion oriented problem. So next we shall take another problem. A particle is starting from origin, is subjected to an acceleration of ax equal to minus 3 meter per second square and ay equal to minus 11 meter per second square. So the acceleration is given along x component and y component. You can find the normal and tangential acceleration, and if the initial velocity is 80 meter per second, so starting from the 0 point and the initial velocity is particularly given as 80 meter per second, so initial, that is u equal to 80 meter per second, which has a slope of 4:3, so which is shown in figure. Compute the radius of curvature of the path after 4 seconds. So here you are having the picture here. So there is an object. So this object has initial velocity of 80 meter per second, and it is traveling initially at a slope of 4:3, that is vertical by horizontal, that is 4 vertical by 3 horizontal. So you can find the slope here. And what is the requirement here is compute the radius of curvature. So this object is traveling in a curved path, so definitely you will be having a radius here, and also find the position at the end of 4 seconds. So the position here is, you have to find the coordinate. So this is 0 by 0 coordinate, and you have to identify the coordinate at 4 seconds, that is t equal to 4 seconds. For that they have given two component of acceleration. So acceleration is minus 11 and minus 3. So let us find the component one by one. So these oriented problems can be applied for a rocket or a missile. Here you have to note that if a missile is launched at particular slope or a particular degree, after launching that missile, after 3 seconds, what is the distance covered in x direction and the y direction, you can identify. If you know to apply this solution, you can apply the solution for a missile or a rocket. You can find the distance traveled after 3 seconds. So like that, for each and every second you can identify the distance along x and y component. Let us solve this problem. Here the initial velocity is given, and if you need along x and y component, so for a object, if you need to resolve it in vertically, you have to use cos theta. So initial velocity is 80, cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse, so adjacent here is 3. If you have two components, that is vertical and horizontal, you can find the tangential component, so this will be 5. If you root 4 square plus 3 square, you will be getting 5 as the tangential component. So here 3 by 5, so 3 by 5, after multiplying this you will be getting 48 meter per second is the x component of initial velocity, and the y component of initial velocity is, you can resolve it by using sin theta, that is sin theta is opposite side by hypotenuse, so opposite is 4 by 5. So the vertical component is identified, that is 64 meter per second. After finding the initial component, what we need is the distance traveled by the particle in 4 seconds. So for finding distance, so let us first find the velocity first. So for finding velocity, let us use v equal to u plus at. Why? Because we know the initial velocity, and acceleration here is given as the horizontal acceleration is -3 and vertical acceleration is -11. So for finding x and y component, you can apply u here is the horizontal velocity, that is 48 meter per second. 48 minus 3 is acceleration at x component. So x component is -3, -3 into t is 4 here at 4 second. So you will be getting 36 meter per second. And if you apply for the y component, you have to use 64 and the value of 11. So you will be getting plus 20 meter per second. So you have horizontal and vertical component. You can find the theta. How to find theta? Vertical by horizontal. So 20 by 36. So vertical component is 20, horizontal component is 36. If you divide that with respect to tan inverse, you will be getting the angle of 32 degree. Here, in order to find the normal acceleration, we have a formula of ay cos theta minus ax sin theta. So we are having ay as minus 11 and ax as minus 3. Hence the component values are indicated here. Also there is a minus here. Why? Because it is in the direction of negative. Next, if you are substituting here, you will be getting 0.848 as the cos 32 degree, and for sin 32 degree is 0.530. After simplifying that, you will be getting 7.74 meter per second square. So right now we got the normal acceleration, and if you need the radius, you can use the equation of an equal to v square by rho. Here we know the equation here, that is vx and vy at 4 seconds. If you need normal velocity square, you can make 36 square plus 20 square. So if you need v, you can root it. If you need v square, you have to take the root outside. So if you are making 36 square plus 20 square, you will be getting v square. So v square here is 36 square plus 20 square and divided by the an. An here is 7.74. If you substitute this, you will be getting rho, that is radius. So the radius of the curvature here is 219 meter. And how to find the distance? So from the starting point, you will be having a x and y coordinate. So to find this x and y coordinate, you can use ut plus 1 by 2 at square. Here u has to be in horizontal and acceleration also should be in horizontal. So ux here is 48, that is initial velocity, and initial acceleration is -3. So time is 4. So if you apply that, you will be getting 168 meter, and the y distance is uy and ay. So uy is 64 and ay is 11 and 64. So if you substitute this, you will be getting 168 meter. So after getting the x distance of 168 and y distance of 168, you can locate this point of P is known as 168, 168. So this is the point of the object after 4 seconds. So if you throw an object with 80 meter per second of our initial velocity, after 4 seconds it will reach a distance of 168 meter in horizontal and 168 meter in vertical. So this is how to find the distance of the object. So next concept is super elevation. What is super elevation here is, if the road surface is horizontal, see there is an object here. If all the vehicles are moving, whenever you are moving in a road, you can observe that there is a slight inclination towards the inside. So this is the inner part of the road and this is the outer part of the road. Always the road will have a inclination, that is the theta here. So this theta is known as the super elevation. So super elevation is also indicated by the letter E. So why this angle is provided towards the all the moving object? Why? Because if any object is moving in a curved path, then there will be a centrifugal force which allows the object to topple. So in order to reduce the centrifugal force and counteract the centrifugal force, you are providing a raised road. So road will not be in a flat mode when you are driving in a curved path. So it will have some inclination. So this inclination is known as the super elevation. So to prevent the slipping of vehicle due to the centrifugal force, the road edge away from the center will be slightly raised above the inner edge by the vertical height known as E. So this is an angle. So E is known as the vertical component. So this vertical component is known as the super elevation. So this prevent the vehicle from toppling. So it will not allow to slip. So super elevation here gives and supports the object, particularly car and moving vehicles in a road. So this elevation gives the reduction of centrifugal force and it gives the stable driving experience. With this, I hope that you would have enjoyed this session. Happy to see you all. Happy learning. See you again. Thank you.